Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Get this started at 6 o'clock. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cash.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
Here.
Michael LeFay.
Here.
Barb Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
Rick Collins. Here. James Coffey is absent.
Okay. Is there anything for public comment this evening? I already added mine, but I'm going to add it for the record. Welcome back. All right. We do have, for active consideration this evening, Resolution 149, New York RSA 2 Cellular Partnership DBA Verizon Wireless Seeker for project at 814 Ampersand Drive, Bowman Street Micro Facility. Mr. Rick, would you read the resolution, please?
Whereas the Town Board, Town of Plattsburgh, has received an application from Mr. David Brenning, Esquire, Young & Summers LLC, on behalf of New York RSA 2 Cellular Partnership, DBA Verizon Wireless herein, for a special use permit to construct and operate a communication facility that will consist of the following general components. One small cell antenna mounted non-peak ballast mount at the antenna centerline height of 34 feet above ground level. 2, installation of electric and telecommunications equipment at grade immediately adjacent to the building wall on proposed elevated platform by a 6x8 lease area as shown in the plans preparation by Taconic Engineering Surveying Consultants PC. The last revised was June 10th, 2019, and original received by the Town and Plattsburgh Codes Department on or about March 19th, 2019. And whereas the board has referred this request with supporting document data pursuant to local law number 3 of the 2003 Telecommunications Consultant, Comey Communications Solutions Incorporated, for review and recommendation. And whereas the board held a public hearing on August 22nd, 2019 to have input concerning the project that included Part 617 of the Environmental Conservation Law, State Environmental Quality Review Act, Section 8-0113, provides for the review of any action to determine the effort of said action on the environmental, along with the related administration procedures and implementation of authorization approval of said action. Whereas Part 617 of the Environmental Conservation Law provides for the involved agency to review any action for the purpose to determine of said effect on the action of the environment. And whereas the determination of the effect of said action of the environmental will be necessary to determine whether the draft environmental impact study is required. And whereas the town board has considered an involved agency in accordance with state and local law for the purpose of effect of the project on the environmental, whether or not said is significant enough to warrant a preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. And whereas the town board has determined that the project is unlisted action in accordance with the environmental review procedures and the coordinated review is not to be done. And whereas the application has provided the town with site plan maps, material, and complete seeker environmental assessment form, Part 1, and the EAF Part 2, and Part 3 determination significance has been prepared by the Town Codes Department. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board does hereby receive and place on file the application, map, and plans by Taconic Engineering Surveying Consultants PC, and complete EAF Part 1 and related materials submitted by Mr. David Brennan, Esquire, on behalf of Verizon Wireless, and EAF Part 2 and Part 3 completed by the Town's Codes Department. And it be further resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, after review of plans prepared by Taconic Engineering Surveying Consultant, PC, last revised June 10, 2019, and received by the town of Plattsburgh Codes Department on or about March 19, 2019, and all previous application maps, plans, and completed EAF and other related materials submitted by Mr. David Brennan, Esquire, of Young Summer LLC on behalf of Verizon Wireless, does hereby determine that the project will not have significant effect on the environmental, and therefore the preparation of DEIS is not required. And it be further resolved that the town of Plattsburgh Town Board does hereby authorize and direct the supervisor of the town of Plattsburgh to have prepared and execute a notice of not significant environmental impact negative declaration on this project. And to be further resolved that no significant environmental impact negative declaration shall be designated for those involved agency and government units as required by the Environmental Conservation and local law of the town of Plattsburgh, and all related materials shall be maintained on file in the town hall offices of the town board and made available for public inspection.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, Wood, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Next up, resolution 150, special use compliance for New York RSA 2 DBA Verizon Wireless Project at 8-14 Ampersand Drive.
Whereas the RSA DBA Verizon Wireless has requested a wireless telecommunications facility consisting of the following general components. One small cell antenna mounted on a non-treated peak ballast mount point at the antenna center line height of 34 feet above the ground level. And two, installation of electric and telecommunications equipment at grade immediately adjacent to the building wall on a proposed elevated platform of a 6x8 base area. And whereas New York RSA 2 DBA Verizon Wireless has completed the telecommunications tower law of the town of Plattsburgh, now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby approve, authorize a special authorization permit for New York RSA 2 DBA Verizon Wireless at the above location, subject to the conditions. One, the required $25,000 performance bond security and issuance of a certificate within the place of town of Plattsburgh prior to the issuance of a building permit at the start of construction. Two, and that the final approval and acceptance of the above conditions by the town attorney. And it be further resolved that the applicant shall have sufficient funds in an escrow account with the town to pay for all expenses related to the application review, inspection, and issue of the permits and the certificate of compliance. And therefore be resolved that the resolution shall take effect upon receipt of the affirmated conditions to be satisfied.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert.
Second.
Second. LaFave, thank you. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 So does carry. I realize that I don't know where you traveled from. I'm not even sure where home is for you, but I know you traveled here just for your client this evening. Thank you for your patience last week with the holiday.
Sure,
Okay.
not a problem. Thank you for doing this at the beginning of the meeting, so I always appreciate that. I'm coming up from Albany, and I didn't think, as you pointed out, I probably wasn't necessary, but I have a hard time explaining to my client if something went wrong, and so you just part of my job. So thank you so much. It's always great being here, and we'll see you at some point in the future.
Thank you.
Well,
Safe-
the weather's good for the trip. anyway.
Safe travel.
It was a nice drive up, I will say that.
Safe travels back.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Included, again, we're gonna go back into the work session portion of it. You have a variety of draft materials, minutes, monthly reports, junkyard license. We'll be filing the budget shortly, and then PHC Housing Development release of partial termination of easements, and then one of Tom's favorite, site deposit return for Glens Falls National Bank. So speaking of that, I had emailed everybody because we had been invited, along with many members of the community, and asked that we push next week's meeting back to the 19th at 7 o'clock, so that we can attend, for those of you that would like to, the grand opening of Glen Falls Bank on Smithville Boulevard. So, push it back by an hour. So I'll notice it in the paper and stuff like that. But Debbie, since you're the regular, I just wanted to
Actually, I have a meeting next week in
So-
Burlington, so.
want to verbalize it. So, and we've done this from time to time, like when they had a chamber after hours at Clinton Community College and stuff like that.
Has to do with real estate, it's coming to me, so.
All right, so, with that, nothing further ado, I would accept the motion to go into executive session to discuss the ongoing pending litigation with the city of Plattsburgh regarding Falcon Seaboard or Saranac Power.
So moved.
Second.
Hebert, Costick, Ricky, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood, Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, the time we're going in is at 6:11. I don't anticipate any action this evening, so.